Hey Joe, I'm going to open up a project real quick. It's kind of like here's let's open this real quick. So I have my project open here. I'm going to go over to Manage and go to my Dynamo Player. And mine is already defaulted. What yours is going to look like? It's going to look like this when you start. So what you're going to do is just come over here to this add right here, and then you're going to hit that little plus sign that comes up under the Manage folders. And then you're just going to select the folder where you put those Dynamo files into, which I think was your Revit temp Dynamo or something. Once you select that folder, it'll show up right here, and then you hit OK. And then once you do that, you just come right over here and switch it. This is I named the folder 2024, so it's going to pop up as 2024. And so we have these nodes that we'll run. The first one, they're going to create that project parameter for this to separate the text into primary and not primary. So you can see that there is nothing there. So I'm going to first run that. It's done. You can see now that I have the FP use on all of my beams. The next thing I want to do is I want to make sure I run that disallowed joins so we get an actual intersection between the column and the beam. And so that's now completed. You can see that they're actually not connected, or the join is gone, so they're going straight to the grid line. Here I'm going to run number 3. My run is complete. So that's setting the primary. So under this should be a primary beam. This should not. This should not. This should not. And that should. And that should. So it's picked out all the primary beams that were attached to the columns. The next thing is I'm going to run my framing schedule first. And then I'm going to run my column schedule. And then now once I have these done, they are going to be here under my project browser. And you're going to see you have all these things. Here's the schedules. So you're going to look under the none, I believe it is. Yep, none. And I named both these with a star in front of it, FP beams and FP columns. Just that way so we can get the asterisk right there. We'll put it to the top of the list so that way it won't, if you're on another project that has a lot of schedules, you won't have to go digging through it. But let me open them up and show you what it does for you so far. It only sets it up like this. So what we're going to want to do is go over here to the sorting and grouping. That's the issue with the Dynamo. There is no sorting and grouping command. So I'm going to have to try and write one from scratch, which will take a little bit longer, but it gets you at least to this point to where you have these two schedules. So if you just go to the beams and go to the sorting, we'll do the type. Remember, we'll itemize every instance, remove that, grand totals, and just put totals only. Actually, if you wanted to set it up in FP use, put a blank line, and then now we can go to type and add a blank line, or maybe we could just add a header to the FP use. Over in formatting, we're just going to want to make sure that that length, calculate totals, and that should be it. So I don't have a lot of different types of beams in here, but you can see that I've got the count, how many there are, their total length, which ones are primary, and which ones aren't. I guess I only changed the primary beams to different sizes, but so that's the beams, and the columns is going to be the same thing because that sorting and grouping doesn't work. You have to come over here to the sorting and grouping. We'll sort these by type. Give it a blank line. We're going to change this put that to there. And we're going to want our, under formatting, we're going to want our length to calculate the totals. And so I only have one type of column in there. If I go into the 3D view and maybe I can change a couple of these columns. So if I change those under the columns, you're going to see now I have those three I changed. It'll subtract it from there. So it's all automated. Even if I was to add more, or if I was to shorten them or lengthen them, these would all be affected by that. So yeah, you can see here, these are primary. Anything up above here is not primary. But that's about it. That's the those are the four that I have, and hopefully that gets you a good start. But that should get you at least this. You're just gonna have to do that sorting and grouping yourself. But I think that's pretty simple. But hopefully soon I'll have that corrected too. All right. Good luck, man.